Oh, I am live. I hit something, y'all. I don't know what I hit. I hit something. I didn't realize we were live. I'm like, I'm going live now. Well, I'm already live. I am really sorry that I couldn't get my little act together. Y'all, if you are people that have BritBox, let me tell you, I found a show. It's called Hardneck Farms. Oh, I love it. The lady, the grandmother in the episode reminds me of um, what Lizzie would have been, which was my great grandmother, which I wish I had the opportunity of meeting, but I never did. But she's a tough cookie. But if you all have BritBox and you haven't the opportunity to watch Hardneck Farms or Hardneck Acres or the Hardneckers, I think that's what it's called. So good, so good. Highly recommend it. And that's what I kept going. I'll watch one more episode. I'll watch one more episode. I got like a free 5-day trial or 7-day trial because I can't do the 10. It's like $10.99 a month, and I can't do that right now. So hi Bud Files, but the Hard Acres, I think it is. On BritBox, such a good series. Oh, like episode 5, and I'm like, I'm hooked. Really good. It's like Downton Abbey, but I like Downton Abbey, but there were some things about it I wasn't too crazy about. But this so far is so good, and yeah, there'll probably be things I didn't like about this. But overall, big, huge Downton Abbey fan. Big, big, huge Downton Abbey fan. But I really, really, really like this one too as well. So if you've got BritBox, go watch the episode. We have had thunderstorms, kind of why I just kind of kept postponing it. And we had thunderstorms. Mom set the fire alarm off because she opened the oven and it was cooking something. So we had that. It's been crazy night here. Thunderstorms and stuff. So, and I just am tired. I just could not get myself. And I kept saying, just have one more. Oh, I'll just watch one more. I'll just stop. And I'm hooked on the series. And I'm really glad I watched it. So you got to see it, y'all. Oh, go to our patterns on. By the way, you all, we do still have we have memberships back on track, thankfully. So we have memberships, and I did upload the pattern for the quilt square that we did recently, the really easy pattern for y'all. I uploaded that. And so that is in our pattern collection of Kinusaiga projects. And also, I chose to not bother with uploading 2 patterns of the Kinusaiga for this one. Because originally for this pattern, just so you all know what I did, originally I had done and added these cuts in it, and then when we were doing it, I realized that these cuts really didn't need to be there. And I think that even if you were somebody that were kind of new to King of Saga, I think you could probably go ahead and do these pretty easily without much issue. So I went ahead and just undid those. I think it looks better to have these just be that way without the extra cut. If you wanted to add the cut down the middle of that, you could do that if you wanted to. But on the original one we didn't do those cuts. I added the rest of the cuts where they're supposed to be for it. But again, I just felt like those cuts were really kind of unnecessary, and decided just to say we're just gonna ignore those. So I decided just to upload one pattern. If you all want to make those extra cuts in the pattern, you can. If you're using it for social media, please do not alter the pattern. Use it as is. I also, y'all want, you see, I want snow. Also, I was doing juice for Christina. She wanted to try it. So I had some juice left over I couldn't freeze. So in this today is kale, of course, one of my favorite. Kale, apple, strawberries, and what else is in there? Kale, apple, strawberries, and carrot. I can tell you that I did one combination for her, and I added about a half a cup to 3/4 of kale into her thing. It wasn't straight kale; it was kale with carrot and apple in it. And you really couldn't tell the kale was in there. Now I've added a little bit more kale because I'm used to the kale and I love my kale. Actually, it's juice. Now, one thing that I did find out was that kale is very good to helping to build strong muscles and helps with things, oh, antioxidants and so forth. So, if you're somebody that, like she said, I could throw some kale in, um, and so forth, uh for her to try. You couldn't, the kale really adds sweetness. You can't really tell it's there. And so when I tried her combination of juice that I've done for her, it wasn't like, I'm here, you can tell I'm kale. It's just starting her off it a little bit. Now another thing that I did is I normally when I juice, I don't strain it. I did strain her juice a little bit because she's on the spectrum. She does have the sensitivity when it comes to things. And because of that, I didn't want her first use experience to feel like she was having a little bit more pulp and all that kind of stuff. So I did strain it just because I was dealing with somebody that I knew has mouth sensitivity and sensory issues when it comes to that. So just as somebody that maybe if you are juicing and you have somebody in your family that's very sensitive to all that or on the spectrum where they're very very sensitive to um, all that kind of stuff, maybe when you're starting them off on juice, you may want to take it. And even then, this is I didn't strain the apple, but I did the because and I did the strawberry and the kale. The one thing too is that the 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 strawberries I did with the tops because there's also a lot of vitamins in the tops of the strawberries. I didn't cut them, so sometimes the strawberry tops go through there a little bit. I thought if she sees any of that, she won't drink it. So I did strain some of it. I didn't strain the apples because I figured that was just fine. But I did strain some of it just because I wanted her first experience with juice to be a positive one and not to have anything that maybe she go, I can't drink that, because I know I've done it with some things. I'm like, I've gotten used to it. I'm used to the texture of it, but not always is she. What?
Any chance did anybody use a can of chicken that was in the pantry?
I haven't used chicken. Hi, Riches. Welcome on in.
I bought a can of chicken. I'm not gonna.
So it was delicious. And let me just tell y'all something. I have to share the story. Sometimes in our life, we don't ask for the simplest things. And I I just, kale isn't too expensive, but I just really like kale in my juice. And we have just been blessed. We went to that place near our house that was having some kind of event. Um, and they had some kale. So we got some kale from that. And then I was on Facebook today, and there was a local church in our area just saying, we have food outside of our thing. Stop off and just pick up what you need. And they had eggplant. I was able to get more kale. And I'm like, Lord, you're just amazing. Let me just say, it was like, You are going to have kale. I'm going to make sure. Here you go. I can go to the store and get kale, but it was there. And I mean, I think we got probably about 6 bushes or 6 bundles of kale. And sometimes we don't ask God for just the simplest things, but sometimes we should. And I just thought, Lord, you know, I like my kale and you're going to bless me with, here you go. And so sometimes we have to ask for sometimes the simplest things in order to make sure that, you know, we realize that, you know, sometimes we have to realize people and he is watching over us with the littlest things that we want. Even if it's as simple as, can I please have some kale? It's like, here you go. I can get you kale. I can do anything. Thought it was, we had just got, we had, I'm sorry, y'all. We winded up getting some eggplant and kale and uh, plums and some other things today that our community was blessing us with, and you know, other people that needed it too as well. And so sometimes we have to ask and we have to look and we have to be thankful when we're blessed. Yes, he does, and he works in mysterious ways, even if it's just to have kale. Here you go. So I am um, kind of unsure about what I'm going to do for the background yet. This is the tail part of the cat, so I think that's maybe where well, no. Let's start working on the body. So if you look at the body of this cat, this back end almost looks like a pinwheel. So we have to think of that when we're kind of doing that. So I think that's where we're going to start. Um, so if we think about the fact that this has that color, if we kind of do, because I wanted to make sure we could see the eyes. And I thought if I go too dark, we're not going to see the eyes. So if we think of maybe doing um, the brown here. So let's get our pen out. This is where you can make little notes. So while you have your pattern, if we do the brown here, and then we do this brown, okay, next to that. So I'm going to put brown flowers, with BF, right? Okay. Then we can do green. Okay. So we've got the green kind of coming around here for full circle, right? Then we'll do another of the BF there. We'll do another of that kind of thing. And then here and here will kind of be, you know, together. Um, if we do green here and I think brown there, then these, like, it'll coordinate from where it is. You know what I mean? It won't be too busy. And then we'll figure out the rest because I don't know what I'm going to do with the yarn yet. And I don't kind of know what I'm going to do for the back wall yet. I'm still debating on the wall. So if we've got that, then let's do wait, hold it. The green. So let's do the sparkle gold for this part of the tail. And we're gonna do green up here, brown here, and we'll do the sparkle gold up here. And then we're going to do the BF here, and then we'll work our way down this way. So that's why sometimes it's good to have a little pen so you can map it out. And if you're kind of going, I don't know what I'm going to do because I really don't know what I'm going to do. All right, let's start here. Let's do the brown first. But if y'all have, like I said, if y'all have BritBox at Heart, I think it's Heart Acres is what it's called. Such a good series. I was like, I'm gonna just get it was like a 10 night. It was a 7-day free trial for BritBox. I thought I'll just get it. Oh, thank you so much for doing that, Richard. Appreciate that. Much blessings, my friend. So we have Lynn, Dude, Loss, Dan Breaking, Newsman, Conscious, National. This is TJ, Stephanie, Rick James, and No Frills Mercy. Thank you so much for doing that. I know that they will appreciate that tremendously. I'm going to come up because when we were on StreamYard, we had something that happened when people did that, and I've got to come up with something cute. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I want to do something. Thought it was cute. We were on Christy's channel, and she has something that came up whenever like somebody became a member or somebody gifted memberships. I got to figure out something to do. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we're going to figure something out. I tell you that. Maybe get a noisemaker. Something, right? I just want to do something when somebody becomes a member or something. Eventually I'll have StreamYard again, but right now this is working right now. StreamYard, I'm not total fan of what they did with their pricing. I can tell you all that. I don't think I did double on that. This doesn't need to be doubled. But thank you so much. And I know they will be very appreciative of that as well. And we are probably about, I think, we're still like 900 watch hours away, but we'll get there. I see light at the end of the tunnel. So again, Tuesdays, if for just everybody to know, I'm gonna start changing and coming on Mondays, so that Mondays we can still do our kind of connect and grow, and then Tuesdays we'll probably be in the car traveling on the road. Um, And then I'll have to see how I am on Wednesdays. I can guarantee you that probably this Wednesday I'm gonna if I come on, it's gonna be we're just gonna come on and chit chat because I want to be tired. But I'm gonna make it work. I can tell you that. So my daughter just needs a little help right now, and I'm gonna help her. And so anyway, but we'll do that, and then I've got to practice my flute because I'm supposed to like do my flute next week. But I did practice, and the song I picked was pretty easy. I just don't know which one I'm gonna do. I've got one I'm pretty much gonna do, but I also feel like I want to do Jesus Loves Me. I just don't know which one it's gonna be yet. And then I said something to somebody, and somebody says, "Why didn't you do both?" So it may end up being both. I don't know yet. But I just this is kind of like, and I know I have to do a video on it. This is kind of like what Tuber Chat does. And if anybody isn't familiar with Tuber Chat is an amazing channel of a lot of times for content creators to come together and get to know each other. And he said something very, very, it made a lot of sense. Oh, I've got to show fabric. Got to show fabric. I'll show you in a minute because I got fabric the other day. I don't think you were on. I don't know if you watched the replay. Anyway, he was talking about the fact that he said, we don't really, he said, I showed channels on the screen because we got to spend 3 hours doing something. But he said, that's not the magic. The magic is in the chat. So if people will understand that if they come in here and they start chit chatting and talking and so forth and connecting with each other, whatever I'm doing, as simple as something like this, right? Then, oh, you watched the replay? Did you see the fabric? Then you're going to grow and connect and make relationships and make connections, whether you're growing a channel or not. This is just something that I'm totally enjoying. Hopefully you are enjoying. It's facilitating something on the screen while we go live. So you guys can come in here and talk to each other and chat and go visit each other's channel and connect and so forth and help each other to grow and find new channels and find some amazing people. It's like Tuber Chat says, doesn't really matter what's on the screen. The chat really is where all the magic happens and where people help each other with their watch time and help each other and they learn each other. They learn about things and questions and things that they're asking and so forth. And he's talking and he's helping us understand things that we may not understand when it comes to YouTube. So I'm doing this and you guys can participate in helping us choose which way and which way things go. But this is something on the screen, but the more everybody comes in and chit chats and talks, what that does for YouTube algorithm, it says, wait a minute, that chat's flying. We're going to push them out more. Then more people come in and they start chit chat, and it helps us to share us out and get things going. So it doesn't matter in a channel like ours what we're necessarily doing. What happens is the magic that happens within the chat, just so people know. Just something. I found, y'all, the other day, we were down, it was this place. Did I keep the card? Yeah. Xenix fabric place. And they have a location in Goodville, PA, Indiana, and Berlin, Ohio. There was fabric, and I can tell you a majority of it was not over $6.99 a yard, which was very reasonable. And I ended up getting, if you didn't see, I got this, which I love this for what we're going to do with the pumpkin. And I also got, where's the other one? I also got this. Now, the thing is, you have to have at least a half a yard. They had a huge warehouse with great deals on fabric. And I'm like, I'll be back. Because literally, you could walk in and get a half a yard of fabric for about $3. It was about $3.50 for this one and this one. And I thought this one kind of reminded me of a scarecrow, and it's kind of the orange I'm looking for to go with our little pumpkin that we're trying to do. And then I did get a couple things at the place that we put our first Kinusaiga piece on display. And for those people that didn't see, look at this fabric. It's from Hands. Yep, it does look like wood. Hands, Helping Hands craft store or quilt store. And it also went with this. Now these were like $3.50 for 1/4 yard. Aren't they beautiful? Like fall leaves all over the place. I really did a good deal when we were down there. I had to go down there anyway to deliver the sub caddies and to drop off a King of Saga piece. This was on sale for $2. And I thought, where I have a pattern, the truck with the Christmas tree that comes out the back of the truck? We're going to do that in a King of Saga piece. And I thought of that for Christmas. Absolutely. And then all of their fat quarters were 50 or 20% off. So I got this one in the fat quarter. I got this piece and it has like little stars. I don't know if you can see that, little stars on it. And I thought it was just so neutral. What other piece did I get? I know I got another piece, but I can't remember which one I got. Oh, this one, because we're going to use it for part of the. It was kind of the other part I was looking for. Kind of the had an orangey tinge to it. This one, the fat quarters there are $3.50 for ones that have print, but then they were 20% off that, and then this was like $1.50. Figure that could be grass. So I didn't spend too much. I was a good girl, believe me. I could spend a lot, but I didn't. I was a good girl. That was some of the fabric we picked up yesterday. We went down there and we had a blast. We had a nice time. I was tired, and I listened to my husband yell. Uh, it was we were down there, and it was like he said, "You want to stop off?" Because we were hungry. And he said, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm just hungry." And he said, "You're just," and I said, "We just wait till we get home." And when we were at Walmart, yes, I love all the fabric. I love all of it. But this other outlet place is huge to um, find the fabric for the wholesale. But I love this. I had to grab it. I know that this is big, but I still think it's usable, especially for fall. I had to get it. But this is the matching fabric. I mean, if you want to talk about fall colors and fall leaves, I mean, if you want to see that, this is stunning. Absolutely stunning. When we were at the Sam's Club, and I was picking up some yogurt for Christina, it's like an 18 quart or 18 thing box of yogurt, and I picked it up, and it came right down on my chest. And I think I know I bruised my collarbone, I think, because man, it's better than it was, but it was so sore. So he's just looking at me. This is my husband, loving husband. His sugar was like at 99, and he's like, "Mary, we got to find something for me to eat." We had like a 45-minute trip home, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and he looks at my face, and he said, "You're hurting," because then I'm at this point I'm hurting, and it was like 5:30, and I'm actually starting to shake a little bit. And he goes, "We're going to stop." So we stopped off at Dairy Queen, pick something up. He said, "You've got to eat. I've got to eat. We're not going to make it all the way till we get home." And then he took his hand. His hand was cold, and he put his hand right on my chest. I was like, and he felt it. It's like you hit bone, and he says it's going to be all bruised. But last night I went to bed and I went to sleep and I was out. So, and I said, "See, child, what I do for you?" Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be that sore, but man, it just came. The way I did it, it came this way. And he was there when it happened, and he looked at me, and I was like, "Have you ever felt like you had the wind knocked out of you?" Well, that's what happened. He goes, "That's going to hurt." I'm like, "I already know it." So, anyway, it's just been sore. It's been sore, but and I'm kind of going through a little bit of a season in my life right now where I'm like, because there was a little misunderstanding on the soap caddies, but we worked it all out. It was fine. And I said, Josh, I said, I don't know if I kind of, the yarn is 30% off at the Hobby Lobby. And I said, maybe I just kind of, you know, when they said to me they're probably going to be asking me, still working, I've got to reach out to them. I'm sure it would be no problem for us to become an affiliate with them, because guys, they do have wonderful products. They do have, and this is not me, this is that little wonderful Amish lady named Mary. That's her affiliate link, but I'm working to get our affiliate link for them. But they have some wonderful products. Hopefully it works. Is that what it is? Yeah. and wonderful products. But if you go there and say that's Mary, that's not me. That's a wonderful little lady at the shop. That's just a little amazing lady. So I got to reach out to them and say, just wondering if it was approved, because I would love to become an affiliate with them, and I would love to be able to be an affiliate and be able to put like baskets together and use it or use their soap in our giveaways and stuff. It's this stuff is wonderful. I want to get when Gail has her little thing, I'm gonna get a couple of these and include these in the giveaway. Stuff is wonderful. Really, really wonderful. But anyway, they told me, they said we're probably gonna order some more in about a month, and so forth. And I'm like, if everything goes well, and I said to Josh, I'm like, maybe I didn't get a ton of yarn, but I did get some, I did get some more yarn than I usually do. And he said, Mary, you're going to be better off to get the yarn, get ahead. And then another thing I thought of, because we're going to be making some trips up to help Christina a little bit. He said, take your soap caddies up there and you'll find some shops up there. And I thought, I never thought of that idea. Didn't think of doing that either. Because he said, you may find some shops, start looking for some shops up where she is at and see if they'll take them. And then that way you can get them up there too. And I thought, I never thought of it. He said, Mary, he said, you are going to be better off to just continue making them and have a nice stockpile on hand than not. So I said, you're right. Because they take me 20 minutes. I did work on them today. I have it was so weird to kind of take them and drop them off and realize there's a good chunk going in there. And then to walk them into the quilt store and see them hanging there, I thought it was surreal that a pattern that I did for those soap caddies, you know, 2 years ago is finally starting to kind of make a headway a little bit. I said to the Lord today, I'm like, it's my walking out on faith error in my life. Where I'm just going to go, okay, God, you're going to guide every step. And sometimes we have to do that. And then, oh, they were talking about, yes, it was a wonderful feeling. But I was like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten yarn. He goes, Mary, you're almost out of yarn. You got to keep making them. So stop doing that. Sometimes you second guess yourself, and then the Lord sits there and says, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like, okay. And then my husband, Josh, just me said, I believe in you and it's going to be okay. You got this. I was like, thank you. You got this. But I didn't think about looking in places. So I'm going to start looking at places up where Christina is and see if I can get some places up there too. Because I only have, see, there's 13, and got 3, 16. I only have 20 because I only had about 113 that I had left. Plus, I've got some extra ones, but so if I don't start rebuilding the stock, I'm gonna regret it because I can do them pretty quickly, but I can't do them. I don't want to get to the point where I'm gonna be, oh, you need more, and I don't have them, and it's gonna take me, time to get them. So I thought, no, we're not doing this. So It's like they're starting to take momentum, and I'm thankful to see it. And two, he said to me, there's going to be people that are going to buy something like that now, especially down in the Amish country, because they're going to go home and they're going to think this is a great Christmas gift. I said, you're right. So anyway, we got this. But the store was telling me about something. They were saying we used to have kits like that here, and it was called Sewing Magic. And she said they took up a lot of room and something happened, and I guess they don't have them anymore. And I decided to go look on YouTube, and it's something very similar to Kinusaiga, actually. But it wasn't foam board, it was wood. And she said, well, it's something that you have to punch in, but it didn't look like something punched in. It looked very similar to what Kinusaiga is, but it looked like it was actually wood. So I've got to do a little bit more to find out exactly what it is. But I don't think they're around anymore. But it's called Sewing Magic. And she said, we used to have that. And she goes, they used to sell like hotcakes. She said, people loved them. Oh, Mom or Josh? Oh, where are that package for the wheels? Oh, Mocha, can't you know my voice by now, child? We got the Amish wheels, and I wanted to see them, and I was going to show you. All right. I can talk. You think Mocha would know my voice by now. Hi, Sandy. Thank you very much. Can I have that package? I'm sorry. You think Mocha would know my voice by now. I got the wheels. They got the Amish wheels because they want me to do the Amish buggy and bring it down there. So we got the wheels. We got the wheels. We got the wheels. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Forgot about these. I was going to have them over here. So these are the wheels to use for the Amish horse and buggy we're going to do. So these are going to be for the front. Those are 1 inch. And I got 3 sets. Oh, you can't see. I'm sorry. Those are the 1 inch. And those are the 1.5 inch. So when we do the Amish buggy, okay, I'm going to see. So this is going to be, and we're going to paint them probably. So this is going to be the front. Well, it's reversed. Okay. This is going to be the front of, this is going to be the front wheel for the Amish buggy. And then this is going to be the back wheel. The front and the back wheel. So these were on, I can put these on the thing, but they can't, they're actually really cute. They're not very thick, which is good. It's not what I didn't want something that was going to be very thick. So they're not very thick, This is 1.5 inch, and this is 1 inch. I don't think I could have. I could have done it with fabric, but I don't think it would have looked so cute. It'll look really 3D. Look. Yes. So when we do the horse and buggy for the Amish thing, we'll be using it. Getting quite a lot. And then we got our eyes for the fish we got in. So put them in my little treasure treasure chest of goodies in there. Yes. And those came from ST. So I will put I was waiting till I got them, but I will add them to the shop list. I'll put them in the list so if y'all do the horse and buggy, but I think you could have done it with fabric, but I think it'll look really cool actually to have the wheels put on. But we'll probably paint the wheels black because most of the Amish buggy wheels are black. But that'll be easy. And I'll probably paint them black and then Mod Podge them. So I think they'll be cute. Yep. And like I said before, if you guys are looking for embellishments, go to your papers, your scrapbooking section at your craft store. You'll find a lot of cute, really, really cute embellishments for them. So I am, and I'm probably not going to come live tomorrow. I will come live on Monday, but I'm probably not going to come live tomorrow. Christina has, I've got to fix hers so I can bring them up there Tuesday. And then, got that. And then, I want to work on the one that I'm doing for my other's keeper that I can't show you all because we're going to be doing that's supposed to be a surprise. So she wants me on her channel when it's done. So I can't do that with you all. So I figured I'll just come and work and get Christina's. I think I'm going to try to get the goose finished and outlined, and I'll just put my Elvis movies music on. And I'm not going to outline. I got to outline Christina's swan, but not by much. And I have to kind of work on her pickle a little bit. And I was going to try to do it today, but I said to her, I just don't have the patience for it today. I didn't. I mean, Thursday was Sam's Club. Yesterday we went down to the Amish country. Tomorrow's church. And I know I'm behind on the recap, so I thought I'll get them out, maybe out on Monday. Yes, she is. She's a really sweet lady. She's a good friend, and I'm very grateful. Very thankful for my friends. In my community of people that I can have to just talk and get through this thing we call life because it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, I get mad. I don't think I get mad, but I sometimes just get so frustrated. I don't know if it's that word that I'm trying to think of. I think more just exhausted. When you're hurting all the time, there's a point where you just go, I'm so done. I'm done of just, you know, of it just hurting all the time. It just gets so exhausting. And your body just goes, there's not really a break. And yet you think, well, you get a break at night. You don't. You really don't. You go to sleep, and even though your body isn't physically awake telling you it's hurting, it's still hurting. People don't realize that. Your body's still hurting. You're just asleep and you don't, but you're not sleeping like you should. You're still not, like, it's like, I think it's just sometimes it can be really frustrating when I go, okay, I slept last night from like 12:30, I think it was, till like 9 o'clock this morning, and I should feel rested, but I don't. And it doesn't make any sense to anybody's head. And it doesn't have to. But it's just, I just sit there thinking to myself, can I ever wake up and feel like I've actually slept? And sometimes I do, but a majority of the time I go, did I really sleep? And I'm not trying to complain. I really am not. I'm not trying to say, "Oh, poor me," and all that stuff. But I do it because I think that it helps for other fibromyalgia patients to realize they're not alone, that some of the stuff that I have to go through, they have to go through. And I hope it helps. And I do have an article I'm actually going to be doing a video on for, and it was like 5 different tips, 5 different things that um, I would really encourage anybody that is a spouse of someone who has fibromyalgia to think of, that maybe they're not thinking of. But if it just helps one other fibromyalgia person to go, yep, I know what that's like. I know what it's like to go to sleep and say, well, you should be able to go to sleep and you should feel as if, you've rested and you've had a nice rest. I think sometimes there's just something comforting to know, guess what? You're not by yourself. You're not by yourself. You're not alone. There's people that are going through the same thing you're going through. Yep, it is. And I think that if you sit there as someone who is dealing with it, say, oh, well, it's okay. No, it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay that anybody has to go through that. And there's a lot of people that have to go through it that do not have understanding people in their life. They just do not. Unfortunately, they do not have it. And I cut this piece too shy. They just do not have understanding spouses and family members. And that makes me sad because I think, they should and they don't. And I think I just look and I'm so grateful I do. And I'm thankful that I have that because not everybody has that. They don't have it. And it makes me sad when I think that there's people that are going through what I'm going through, and they don't have people that are very understanding about what they're having to go through. They're just assuming that because they've had to cancel plans, they don't want to hang out with them, or they're dealing with, whatever it is, and they're being lazy about it or whatever. And it makes me sad because I think I'm very blessed that I have a mother that's understanding and a daughter that's understanding and a husband that's understanding. Not everybody has that. And not everybody has friends that are understanding. And I think I'm thankful. I am so thankful. I just think that, people, it's like somebody with autism. a mother that's raising a child with autism. When you find another parent having to go through autism that's raising a child with autism, they understand you in a way that nobody else will because you're not going through it. I had a dear friend of mine who has since passed, but she used to be so comforting to me because when I was taking care of Christina, she didn't have any children, but she was a special needs teacher. And she wasn't a teacher, she was a like a Paris, like an aide. And she could understand me when I was going through a difficult day with her. She was like, I get you. I got you. And I could call up and talk to her and tell her what was going on. And it was like, I understand. And it was so helpful. Um, and I was kind of very glad that I could be there for her when she needed somebody. She had a very difficult ending to her life. And Christina was actually getting married. Was not, I mean, things were coming to kind of the end of, the time. And um, she would call me on the phone. Me too. She'd call me on the phone and I'd just say to her, Lori, I may not be able to answer because I had to continue working. I think like this was like a week or two before Christina was getting married. We had people flying in. I mean, it was just a lot. And I said, I can't stop because I was doing a lot of the decorating, a lot of the organizing and getting things together. And, all this kind of stuff was happening. But her mother had to go to her mother and her lived together. And I think her mother has since passed too, but I don't know for sure because I did try to call her phone recently and I got someone else. So I'm not sure. I have to reach out to her son. But anyway, um, and so these two she had never married. They two had just lived together for years. And then they moved the mother out because she needed to be in some kind of assisted living. And Lori was she was real difficulty at the very end of her life. And so she would call me up and she would say, Mary, she goes, she just wanted somebody on that other side of the phone. She wasn't sleeping. She was just having anxiety. She was it just broke my heart. But I said to her, I can't stop working, Lori, because I've got stuff. And she was fine with that. Spent hours. I'm talking hours on Facebook Messenger, just being there, even in the middle of the night. I'd said, listen, I've got to sleep, but I'll be here. And so she would sleep a little bit and she'd wake up. She'd go, Mary, Mary, like startled. And I'm like, Lori, I'm here. It's okay. I'm here. I spent hours on FaceTime. It wasn't FaceTime, but it was Facebook Messenger, just comforting her. And I said, well, I can't, I wish I could have done more. I couldn't do anything else. And eventually she winded up in the hospital and she passed. But her mother called me and told me, and I found out she actually passed on Christina's birthday. And I thought, I miss her, but at the very end of her life, I said, oh, I'm so glad she's out of pain. Two of them, her mother and daughter, they were bonded. They lived together for years. And she would just, I'll just never forget that. She just sit there and she'd be in the thing and I'd say, Lori, come on, calm down, go to sleep. And I'd be working on stuff for the wedding. And then she would just wake up and startled. She goes, Mary, Mary. And I'm like, Lori, I'm right here, you know. And then she would have the nurse that would come in and take care of her. And so then she wanted somebody there just to watch that. It was just so sad. Oh, she didn't want to wear any clothes. It was the whole thing was just so sad at the end. It was really sad. My heart really broke for her. And we were, of course, up here. There was nothing I could do for her because we were up here other than just be on the phone. That's all I could do was just be on the phone and say, you know. And so she did live long enough to see Christina in her wedding dress. She loved that little girl. I know she's not alive anymore, but she loved Christina. She had this little parrot. Remember, she had this little parrot. I can't remember what the name of the parrot was, but she had a parrot. She loved birds. She was a good friend, and I miss her. She would be thrilled to know that I was a grandmother. I'm sure she's watching. But, you know, I don't think we realize, even in that situation where I kind of felt hopeless, where I didn't feel like I was doing anything, I was being there for a friend. My mother had a friend she was there for that, you know, my mother got her and she was she would just call my mother and talk and my mother would just be listening ears. But other people would get upset when she'd send these long texts, but not my mother would just go, okay. She was so sweet. Her name was Sue Sanderson. And she was so sweet because she would always send cards. So if somebody wasn't feeling well, or if my back was acting up, she always sent a card in the mail. It was so sweet. She was like, her ministry was sending cards. She'd have like a whole thing of cards. She loved sending little notes with Bible verses on them and send cards out. That was her little ministry. She dealt with some anxiety and issues, and she had a bad back. But that was her thing. She loved sending cards out. I will tell you, she had great willpower because I remember she telling my mom one time if the ice cream was on sale at the Publix, she would get it and have just like a half a scoop of ice cream a night. I don't know how she did it because I couldn't. She said their favorite was mint chip. Like, if there's mint chip in the freezer or refrigerator, it's calling my name. Uh, I do struggle with if sometimes I will eat just for emotional purposes. So I have to be very careful. Well, she was an amazing friend to me because she was the only friend that honestly, when people wouldn't listen, they just didn't understand about Christina, she got me. She's like, I understand because she taking care of kids in situations. And so she knew what it was like. And so when she needed me, I mean, if any other time in my life, I would have been a little bit able to be there, but all I could do is say, okay, So if I was doing stuff, preparing stuff, printing out programs for the wedding and all that kind of stuff, I could be on, just have it on, on FaceTime or on Facebook Messenger video, and then I could watch her, be there for her, listen to her, talk while I was working. I said to her, Lori, I can't, I got to keep working. I tried my hardest to have everything ready by the time people started arriving for the wedding. That didn't happen. Of course, and we had to pick up people from the airport, and so we had more people flying in than the other side did. See, the thing about it too that 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 was so wonderful when Christina did end up, she got married, was we had a friend of mine. Well, I consider her a cousin. She's my godparents' granddaughter. And I sent her family an invitation. And I was like, why? We haven't seen them for a while. They probably won't come. I said, I don't know why I feel led to send them an invitation, but I did. And we have the first, this, our first name's the same. Our middle names are different. So when we were always hanging out with each other, you know, I was growing up, everybody would call me by my first and middle name because her middle name's different. So she reached out to me and she said, hold on a second. BF Brown. Yeah, Green. She said, I'd like to come for the wedding. And she said, would you mind? I said, you were sent an invitation, of course, come. And her mother wasn't able to. I think she wanted her mother to come. So her and her husband came, and I'm telling you what, she was a godsend. I do not know what we would have done without her and her husband, because we were so tired after that. I mean, we came home, we stayed at the hotel, and we came home, and I couldn't walk. We were so sore. We were so tired. We were just exhausted. So they flew into Cleveland, and so we had to take Patty to the airport. Let's see, like the next day after the wedding. She had an early flight. There was several other people that had to fly out of Columbus that next day after the wedding was over with. And her and her husband got up at like 3:30 in the morning and took all these people to the airport. And one of Christina's friends that was flying internationally that came for it, they even made sure that this girl had a hotel room near the airport and took care of the hotel room expense and everything. I mean, took people to the airport for us, because otherwise my mother and my husband were going to have to do that. But here was the thing. They had to drive from where we were an hour and a half to drop these people off in the morning at the airport. Then they had to drive back an hour and a half or more to get to the Cleveland airport for their flight later on that day. I do not know what we would have done without them. I made her a poncho. I said, I have no idea what we would have done without them. They were godsends. And then we, of course, ordered lunch for the bridal party because they were getting ready upstairs so we could have lunch, because the wedding was towards the later afternoon. They went and got the food and brought it to the place that they were having the reception. I mean, I do not know what we would have done without them. And my mom's like, now I know why. I said, I don't know why. I just knew I wanted to let them know that Christina was getting married, and They were just absolute godsends to us. And I told them that we would head, don't know. She stayed after the wedding was over and helped us tear down all the decorations and everything so that we had help. I mean, I couldn't even move after the wedding. I don't know what we would have done. And then even during the wedding, she was by my side helping me. What can I help you with? What do you need help with? What do you need? She just came and she came and helped. And I was so grateful. Beyond grateful. I still am. And I've told her. And I wish she lived closer because she is just a sweetheart. She was my angel. Tell you that right now. She was wonderful. So now we're in. Love how that came out. I th- I don't think I want to do. If we do this gold here, there's not going to be a break. You see this section right here, or underneath there. And I think there needs to be. Think we need this fabric here. Let's do this fabric here. Then under here, I think we're going to do the brown. No, let's do the green under here. And then here, and then it'll be the same as that. Now here we'll do this fabric. Oh no. Absolutely. 100%. No, that's okay. This is part of the yarn. That's why you have your pattern. So we have this little section, we have this section, and we have this tiny part with a hand. All right, for this little hand, let's make this paw brown. We're gonna make this whole thing brown because I want the fingernails there, but I don't want it like emphasized. We'll do this brown. We'll do this paw green. I don't know what I'm gonna do the yarn ball yet with. We'll go ahead and do this section here with this material. Just wondering what I should do with this section. We put that fabric underneath there. It's just not going to have enough detail. I don't think I can do this whole piece without, I've got to cut here. And I don't think I can round. I probably could do this whole piece in one thing. Yeah, it is. It's adorable. Just have to figure it out. Let's switch that. We're going to switch it up. We're going to make this paw. Let's make this paw gold. We'll do gold here too. We're going to make this green because you've got this brown over here. And then that way we can put brown here and do that, this dotted thing for here. That's what we're going to do. Well, we're going to do this green, this gold, and this gold. And I have to figure out the yarn because whatever I do for the yarn has got to be a yarn I have, because I'm going to use regular yarn for the little tail of the yarn. But I think that we have just forgotten how to be friends in this world. I really do. It's like, what are you supposed to be, friend? I just think we've forgotten how to be friends. And, you know, and not only that, not changing to fit in. The series that I'm watching right now, which I love the series. That's why I kind of was running a little late. Is And I'm not going to tell you all in case you have BritBox and you start watching it, because you may sit there and go, "Ooh, she was right. It's really good." But it's about a family in England that was kind of, they came from the wrong side of the tracks. They were dock workers, and then they there was just a series of events, and then they were trying to fit in, and one thing that people kept reminding them, I'm only into like the fifth episode. There's 2 seasons so far. Don't forget where you come from. You know, don't try to necessarily fit in, and in the sense of trying to see all these people and in this class, in this high society, that this is the way it has to be. And she's trying to fit in, and I think she probably spent her life trying to fit in. I hop is been such a good value. Hopped. I'll have to look that up. I will have to look that up. I've never heard of it. And it's like a really good series. Just like she's just trying to fit in. She's trying to fit in. And her friends are saying, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget, where you came from, and the people that the people that, and it just don't don't do it. Just because they've moved from this part to now this high society house and all this kind of stuff, and they've got money and everything, don't forget where you've come from. Like Elvis didn't forget where he came from. He remembered. And it's funny to know that Elvis, if you look at a lot of his pictures, I think there's one picture of him in a pair of jeans, and yet it's very classic. And they said you could not wear jeans around him because he didn't like jeans, because he reflected that to what he had come from. He remembered, having wearing the jeans and being that kid that really couldn't afford much. And so you couldn't wear jeans around him. He hardly ever wore jeans. And it's just, guys, it's called the Hard Acres. It's a really, really good series. And it was funny because when they were kind of down and out, they went to this home. And here's another lesson to actually live by, y'all. You never know in life when you are going to kind of you may be on one side one time in your life, and then you'll be on the other side. So, when, and this, take it from me, because I've worked in hotels. Those hotel ladies that go in and clean your room, they work really, really hard. I've seen them work really, really hard. I've been in hotels. I've seen how hard they've had to work, how many rooms they've had to clean, and, taking care of washing the laundry and folding it and doing all that kind of stuff. I have never cleaned a hotel room, but I've worked in the laundry in a hotel room or a hotel place. They work really hard. Um, uh, and sometimes they're not always shown the appreciation that they so deserve because they work really hard. Um, but this family went to this house trying to just, you know, get a job. And because he had gotten hurt and they were trying to just survive. And they went to this house and of course, they weren't going to take we're here to work. And the lady said, well, you know, don't and of course they all smelled like herring because they had worked on the docks. So they had a smell of herring on them. And so she said, what's that smell? And they said, well, we'll work hard. I promise you we'll work hard. We just need work. And the lady who ran the house said, don't come back here and da da da. And she slammed the door in their face. Guess what? They got themselves together. They got into some money. And guess who bought the house? And they pulled up to the house. And they said, I told you never to come back here again. And they were expecting this family, bought this house. And it was the family that she had turned, there was the lady that she had turned away at the door. And it was funny because she said, you remember me? Lady that she turned away at the door and wouldn't give me work? Now, guess what? That lady's working for her. And it was funny because she said, what can you call me? You know, who are you? What do I call you? And she said, you can call me ma'am. And the mother reminds me so much, I think, of what my grandmother Lizzie would have been. And it was, she went downstairs to review the books. And they're reviewing the books about the meal. And she goes, well, we have, and I don't even think I could eat that much in a day. And she said, well, we have we have pre-breakfast, then we have breakfast, then we have after breakfast, then we have afternoon tea, then we have pre-dinner and after dinner. She goes, love, we don't need to eat 7 days a week or 7 times a day. That's it. We're removing this. We don't need this. We do not need to eat 7 times in a day. Thank you very much. She goes, oh, no, no, no. We don't need to eat that much. She said, it will be fine to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do not need to eat 7 days, 7 times in a day. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. She got rid of afternoon tea. That would have been the only thing that I would have said, no, we have to have afternoon tea, but we don't need to have breakfast, pre-breakfast, and then breakfast. And it's like, no, you don't need that many things in a day. Only smell those who have nothing better to do. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, if you have BritBox, it's called the Heart Acres. Awesome show. And you can get BritBox for a 7-day free trial. I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but I'm hooked. I am hooked. I mean, I've worked hard in my life. Still trying to work hard. Unfortunately, I have my limitations that I wish I didn't have, but I do. Hi, Tuber Chat. Welcome on in. There's Kevin, y'all. If you haven't checked him out, please check him out. He is awesome, and we're very thankful for all that you do for the YouTube community and the Tuber Chat family. It is appreciated. And we're actually doing something called Kinusaiga. It's our new art thing. And I kind of feel like it's kind of, what you were saying the other day, Kevin, about, yes, you put the channels on the screen so there's something to look at for 3 hours, but the magic happens right in the chat where people can grow and connect and get together and help each other and be there to support each other. That's kind of what we're doing. It's all about the connection. It's all about coming together and making those connections and building that. And it's kind of like, yeah, I'm on here putting fabric in the foam board, but the magic happens in the chat. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, we're about 900 hours away from getting full monetized, but I will take partial. I will gladly take partial. And then I will celebrate when we get to full monetization, and we will have a remonetization party for sure. And I will reach out to you when that happens. Know what it's gonna look like, but we're gonna do something. Can't say it's gonna be major, but even if it's just a celebration, it won't be as big as when we first got monetized. But we still need to celebrate when we get there. We got to celebrate. But if you haven't seen this done, you use a seam ripper. I think I sent you that we were doing this. So I know it's not yarn, but we're working with fabric, and we're just trying to get people coming on in and chatting and connecting and making those wonderful connections. And I got to recover the mouth because the mouth of the kitty cat just went down. It's sunk. But we'll get it. Can't lose the mouth of the kitty, can't we? And do have church tomorrow. But I'm going to, tomorrow night, I'm going to get Christina's patterns done. I'm going to go back to the goose, but I promise you we will not finish the rest of the embellishments till we're live. That I promise. So we're going to make that thing come to life. Just outlining everything is, I want to get that. I have to be focused on that, especially. I got to find something else to use beside. I lost them out. Hold on a second. Okay, that's it. I gotta find something else beside what I'm using for if I want to outline stuff, because it's not gonna work. I think I covered up the mouth, y'all, and I'm trying very hard not to totally, because I don't want to ruin what we've done with the mouth. There we go. See, it was under the mouth. I had to kind of finagle, and I know. So the mouth really had to get it. Hopefully I can get it down there, because the mouth is like glued. It's If we have to pop this out, I will pop it out and stick it down in there because that's exactly what we're gonna have to do. We do what we have to do. And then we'll use glue. So we got it. We got it. We got it. I will say if we do this pattern, I'm going to keep the mouth the way it is. And if you have to, you can always paint it on or do something with it if you feel like you can't do that hole. But I'm going to put this here because now we've kind of had to uncover it a little bit. It's as hard as a rock though, but because we glued it like crazy last night. But I also want to make sure that I've kind of got a little bit of glue happening around it. So, because we've kind of had to disturb it. We're gonna kind of. It's connected to the thing. I think it'll work. I've just had to. I just want to get it enough. Here, I think that'll work. That will work. That will work just fine. Yes, see, Kitty has a little tongue, and I said last night it kind of looked like the cat was sticking a tongue out. A little tongue. I just had to kind of finagle it a little bit. I didn't think of that piece last night when I was trying to make sure that every piece that touched glue, like I had to glue it last night, it was done. I didn't think of it because I really couldn't think past that last night. I was getting too tired. But we got it working today. We got it. I may need to clean it up with water, but with this specific, I'm going to make sure that this is really stuck in here before I do anything like that. But I'm glad we used the darker color because it worked. If we had used the lighter color for the around the tongue, I think it would have like all blended together. That's what I didn't want. So that's part of the yarn. That's the arm. So we're going to do this green, that other color. I think if we do this color, it'll just kind of blend everything all together. Then, where did they go? Cats are going, I hope it's okay. Yeah, we just got done with the vet. I don't want to see the vet for Mocha for another little bit. Telling you, if anything happened to that dog where she needed emergency vet care, I don't want to be anywhere near that. Because they're not going to be able to do anything. I'll never forget having to travel up to that place when she had that reaction to that shot. Her face is swelling. And the people said to me, well, come out there with a muzzle. I said, you're not getting a muzzle anywhere near this dog. Not one bit. So the best that we could do is take her gentle leader and put it around her face and tighten that down. She ain't gonna it's not gonna go any place near it. There was this one vet I found, and I think he's in Maryland, and I'm like, oh, I wish he was closer. And he literally, and I thought, "Oh, I wish we had more vets like this." And he had a dog, and it was a lab, which people are like, they think most labs are really friendly and they're not causing issues. But this little lab had some issues. He spent an hour with this lab, and he said, he makes these kind of appointments with these kind of dogs at the very end, and he said, we're going to take as long as this dog needs. He said, we are not rushing this dog. He said, this dog needs an hour to get used to me. By the time he got done, the dog was eating out of his hands and got a muzzle on. I don't know what he would do with Mocha because Mocha wouldn't allow him to put a muzzle on. And he had this dog eating out of his hands, and was able to give him a shot. And even after the shot, the dog came back and ate out of his hand and gave him lovin's. And he said in the thing, he said, we will do this again for another hour if it's what it takes. Like if you wouldn't have gotten the muzzle around, I don't know how they got the muzzle on this dog. So like Mocha would have never allowed it. She wouldn't have allowed it. Not one bit. I've been like, nope, you're not putting that thing on me. We got a muzzle around Mocha once, and that was at a vet. And I don't know how Josh did it without getting Mocha. We did it once. But I think by then she was so exhausted and tired. And I think whatever shot they tried to give her kicked in. But this vet's like, well, we'll just take an hour. We take an hour. I'll take an hour again. We schedule these kind of appointments with these dogs at the very end. He took this dog out of the room, walked her around, sat with her, gave her treats. I thought, oh, I wish she were closer. Because I hate that Mocha has to be put asleep every time she gets a vet procedure done. It's like we don't get to go and get Mocha to just do a simple nail trim for $10. Doesn't happen. Thank goodness for pet insurance, but they only cover one sedation a year. Absolutely. And I mean, for the most part, Mocha, the vet that she goes to, has spent, we got here in 2022, and we found that vet shortly after. I mean, we were probably up here, it was after the wedding, so it's probably like October or something like that when we found the first vet. We found her because we got her done. So it was after the wedding, and we found her, this vet. She's wonderful. So she's had 4 years to build a relationship with these people at the vet's office. And she's only had one little incident there, but the people love her. It's just taken a long time for Mocha to build trust. And there was a new person there. She didn't growl and bark. She was cautious, but she didn't growl and bark. So that's a huge improvement. You guys said, oh, she was great. But in her chart, it says not the most friendliest dog. And then when we got there, he goes, yeah, well, it says it in her chart. She's not too friendly. And then when I explained her story, he goes, well, I wouldn't be very friendly after that happened to me either. And I said, that's what we know happened to her. I can't imagine stuff that happened to her we don't even know about. I know there's other stuff that happened that we don't know about. And he just said, well, I would be exactly the way she's acting. Now I understand it. He said, I'd be the same exact way. I'm not surprised that she's acting that way at all. Actually, he said to me, I would be surprised if she wasn't acting that way. I just wish she didn't have to go through all that. It's like, you could just talk for like a half an hour and we can understand your story, and then you can go back to not talking and we can explain to you why we're doing what we're doing. People are not going to hurt you, that you're safe. It would be appreciative. I hope I know that there'll be animals in heaven. I hope there are. Especially dogs. I'd like to have some dogs in heaven, God. It's just, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna wear tomorrow to church. It's gonna be real easy peasy. I don't want complicated. I don't have energy for complicated, but I don't know what it's gonna be yet. Got a green dress I can wear tomorrow. Maybe I'll wear the green dress. Since I'm working with green, I remember that. We'll see. I don't know. I want something simple. I want something very soft tomorrow. Very soft and comfy. Don't know what it's gonna be. Excuse me. Get done with the pause over here. The problem is I don't know what to do for the background on this. Now, what I'm probably going to end up doing with this is taking a little bit of some kind of white, either yarn or something, and putting it down. Hopefully you can tell that that's the fingers of. I just thought if I make the fingers like stand out more, I want them to show, but I don't also want them to be, hi, I'm the claws of the kitty cat, if that makes any sense. But maybe I'll get, like, I've got baby thin yarn. I could just put a little bit up the thing just to show the claws a little bit versus it kind of being in your face. I mean, the original pattern showed the claws just going up a certain part, but I couldn't do it all the way. 105. Oh my goodness. It rained earlier. It was so funny because it rained. We got a severe thunderstorm. It rained for about 5 minutes, stopped, and the sun came out. That was it. Last night we had a storm though. Boy, did it really downpour last night. It rained a lot last night. I woke up kind of in between waking up and going to sleep, and it was like, man, really poured last night. It's supposed to rain a lot this week. However, we are starting to see fall leaves. I wonder if we'll see them on the way to church tomorrow. My mother-in-law's like, yeah, because it's been really dry. So we shall see. I don't know. It looks like the claws of the it looks like the little arm with the claws. I didn't think it would show up, but I think it does. Yeah, I like the smell of rain too. I don't mind rain dropping. I don't mind anything. I just don't like it when it's when we start getting sirens and all that kind of stuff. That's when I'm good. And I had to. I'm probably. Well, I told mom because I got a cushion and I tried it out yesterday, but it was making me go like my back go like this, and I was going forward, and it actually made my back sore. I said, "Mom, if you don't like it, I'll return it." So I'm still on the hunt for a little bit of a cushion for this chair. It's got a cushion, but I'm wearing it out. But it I thought it was more like a memory foam kind of a gel kind of cushion. It's not. It's just a foam cushion, and then once you sat on it, it was like didn't have anything. Yes, it's going to be holding the ball of yarn. So I did show the cushion last night, but I will not be putting it in the link tree because I'm probably going to end up returning it. I thought it was memory foam, and it's not, or like gel, and it's not. It's just foam, and the minute you sit on it, it just kind of sinks down. I'm like, okay, well, this served no purpose. So. Yes, and then we're going to take whatever yarn. I haven't decided what color we're going to make the yarn yet, but whatever it is, I got to make sure I have the yarn for it, which I'm sure I have the color that whatever we're going to use for the yarn color. Because I'll show you in a minute, because I've got some yarn right here. Let me get this on. Doo-doo. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with the yarn in a second once I get this little thing to cooperate. Yeah, any color will work. I just, for instance, if like just let's, and I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. Yeah, the yarn will work, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because trying to make a tail for this yarn and trying to put it in with fabric was going to be almost, I mean, you can try, but it was going to be almost impossible to do. So my idea behind, I think you would be able to tell that there's the figure. I think you can. I may not even need to do what I was going to do. Okay. So I've got yarn here. Okay. This is why. Originally, when I did this pattern, it was coming up with all these like strips in between this yarn. Okay. And I may even use silver. I'm kind of leaning towards that possibly. But anyway, it was going to be too hard to do those little tiny strips. Okay. So my idea was having yarn, this is yarn, whatever yarn I choose, and being able to take, and I wouldn't even use this thick. I'm probably going to use baby yarn because it's thinner than this. Okay. And just stuffing that down there and then being able to glue it so that it kind of has a 3D effect for the yarn. You see what I mean? For the strip in between. We'll just have to glue it down, but you kind of get the idea. Okay. And then my other thing was it showed a yarn tail, but that was going to be really hard to do. So whatever yarn we have, I'm going to tuck it in and glue it, and then take this yarn here and make it so that it kind of does something like this, right? So then we'll have to glue this down, but this will kind of have the yarn tail and it kind of make it 3D look, right? So you're kind of having it a little bit more curved when I get done with it, but kind of like that. You know what I mean? So now it's got like a 3D look for the yarn. So that's what my envisions were for me having it the way it is, because but I'm gonna probably use baby yarn for it because I think it'll need it. But I wasn't sure if you'd be able to tell that that was fingers, but I think you can, like little claws, but I think you can for sure. And I think it looks good by the green because you got all this white. I just don't know. This is going to be the gold. And the reason I'm doing the gold is because you got this and you got the brown. But I wanted to have a darker color by the mouth. Yeah, I could have it do it probably won't be tucked in on the very end here. It'll just kind of be, doing that. But if I make it loose, then it'll kind of hang from the picture too. Yarn will probably end up fraying a little bit. So I don't think I'll tuck it in there. I just tucked it in there so it would stay. But it'll just be like there for the end to kind of, the end will kind of be frayed a little bit because I want it to kind of look like it, the cat had fun with it. So this is going to be, these are going to be this color. This is going to be this color because we've got this color and this color. I don't know what this is going to be. My next thing, we figured out what the tail is going to be. My next difficulty is figuring out what I'm going to put for the back of here. And I have no idea. I'm in total loss. The only thing that I thought of doing possibly for the back. Where are you? Was I just gotta make sure I have enough of it, but I think I would. Okay, I'm gonna take this first. Where are you? Trying to find it. I can't find it. Trying to find it. I don't see it. I've got to find it. As long as I've got enough for what I'm going to be using it for. I really like it. I may have to get more of it. See, it was going to make me pull this whole thing over here. I'm going to take these two things because this is white. Put it in here so I don't lose it. It's our fabric we have to use. Okay. I was thinking, and I don't know if this would look good for kind of like the floor part, is just having this kind of. My thought was this part here may need to be like really plain. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm thinking that maybe this gray would look really pretty on the bottom. And that's why we would want to have a yarn that's kind of a little bit more colored. But I have to use a solid color for the yarn. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. So anyway, that's that. I also thought of using this for the back of here. Because yes, we want it printed, but we also don't want it too busy. So I thought about that, where it's got some texture and almost kind of looks like wallpaper, but it's not going to be totally in your face either. So I thought about using that for the back of the kitty. Because it's got some texture and it kind of reminds me a little bit of wallpaper without it being in your face. So you got that for that, and then you got this. It's got like a texture of kind of wallpaper, and I think it would go really well with this curtain. And then putting this here, and then trying to find something for the yarn. It's going to have to be solid, that's the thing. Because I can't do it imprinted. Excuse me. Trying not to yawn, but it's not working. You see, like if I did something like, even though this is pretty, and it would look like wallpaper, I think it's going to be too busy. You know what I mean? It's like, even though I like this, it's going to be a little bit busy. Especially like if you put it like there. It's too busy with it. Yep. I think it goes great with the curtains, but using something like that's way, way too busy. Yeah, I mean, we've got that darker, got the darker and the lighter, but I think that's the lighter, that's the darker. So I don't know whether the lighter or the darker is better. Mm. Like your first choice? Okay. Makes that easy. Trying to see what solids I have. You know what? That's going to be two. It's going to be two. I thought about that blue that we used for Mom's teapot, but that may not look. Yeah. I think we kind of need a light color. Possibly for the. I don't want to use double, so I'm looking specifically through colors for a minute. I've got to reorganize this stuff because Christina's just been all over it. Her hands are all in my fabric, and I wouldn't trade it for the world out of it. I'm so glad she's found something that is making her happy. This may be really pretty, actually. That may be it. I know I have yarn for that. So we're not doing this. So we did this. We either go for something like this, which I really like this and this together. As long as I had something kind of like that. That's really pretty. As long as I had that color. Most of the stuff I have here is printed. Or another thing we could do, hold on a second, which may not look terrible, and I was going to use it for the pumpkin, but I changed my mind on it. Yeah, I'm talking for the yarn part. I just got to make sure I have something. I have yarn for it. You know, this might be really pretty, and it would be lighter, and it would, you know what? Like I got it, y'all. Because this would go lighter, and it would be as this. I think that's it. Or either that color or this color. I've got both of these colors in the thing. Keep that one out in case I change my mind. Which at this point, it could very much be changing my mind. This one we would have to double up though. I don't know if I'd like this. No, I don't like that. So it would have to be that or the purple. I'm just going through this, see if I see any color else that would work. No, so I just got this too. That would look really pretty, but that's the Windows color. I don't want that the same as the other. That wouldn't work. It has to be a solid color because you've got the other kind of. I think I'm really liking this. I think that would look really good, and it would go with the purple. The purple is going to go with that. I think I have this outside. I have to check. I think it's okay. So we'll do this, and I think I've got baby yarn out there in lavender, so that would work. And this goes for the bottom, and then you're really going to see this against that. And then this is absolutely going to go for the wallpaper because it looks like wallpaper to me anyway. And then, what time is it? I can see what time it is. I got to see what time it is. It's almost 11 o'clock. So I think what I'm going to do, because We're going to do this one with we figured this out, right? We did. This is going to be the silver or the gold. This is going to be the gold part here. And then this is going to be the other, the blue, and then this is going to be the gray, and then the yarn ball is going to be that color. So anyway, but I'm going to head off because it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and I have to get up for church tomorrow morning. And I'm tired. So I have to go back and make sure that when I put that package up there, I don't think our address went across the screen, but I got to make sure it didn't. And I think I need my sleep. I'm realizing that more and more lately. And another thing too, there's going to be a little change happening in my life as I'm going to be kind of helping somebody on Tuesdays for a little bit. So I know that that's going to be a change and I'm going to be tired. Hi, Red. Welcome on in. Yes. Oh, you did your yard today. Good going. I couldn't do it. If you can do it, do it. Thankfully, I mean, we live in an apartment, so they come and take care of the yard. But I mean, if we had a yard, it would be Josh would have to do it, but he'd have to be the push for work because we couldn't do it. I couldn't go do it. I mean, when I was young, and I'll never forget it too, I was at school. I was so proud of myself because I mowed my parents' yard. I loved it. I mowed their yard and I loved it. And the kids said, "No, you didn't." They teased me about it. I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I mowed my parents' yard. I loved it. I did it. I was so happy with myself. I didn't think I could do it." It would not be one thing I'd enjoy. My mother tried to get me into yard work and plants and all that. I'm like, see where my passions were. It was always crafting something with my hands like this, for sure. I think the kitty is coming along really cute. Very, very cute. There we go. There's something in the ear, and I didn't like it. I think it came out real cute. We're probably going to do something with the eyes. Just testing up. So I got to find another container. I don't know if this would look. Over here, we can see whether I like that or not. What do y'all think? Or whether we just need a dot. I don't know if we like the eyes or whether we think that the eyes just need to be like a little white dot. Come on. Blue eyes? Yeah, I don't have blue eyes. And the ones I got, those are 4 millimeters. And I think that the 6 millimeters would be too big. I'm thinking it's probably just gonna be like a little. Because I got the fish eyes, and they're purple actually. They'd be really cute, but I think they're going to be too big. These are the 6 millimeters. I think they're going to be too big. Even though it'd be really cute because they got a little purple in them. But I don't know if they'll be too big for it. Oh, they're way too big. That makes it look giant. It's all you see. Those are way too big. They're cute. They'd be adorable, but I think what it's going to take is just like a depth of something. Seeing the candy in little plates. Those are like really big. I need to get like little tiny rhinestones, but I can cut these little things in half. But even these are too big. It's just not going to work either. So I'll have to. It's just going to be like little. I have to find like a little. You know, it's probably going to take. I'll just get a little white acrylic paint, put it on there. That's all you need. Or we have the glitter paint, and that may take it. Or if I find next time I go to Hobby Lobby, it won't be anytime soon, but next time I go, I'll find like a little tiny. They have little tiny rhinestones in the department in the thing. You know what? You know what? I wonder if this would work. Let me just think outside the box. You know, sometimes you just have to think outside the box. I've got these left over from the Dollar Tree, but I wouldn't use the flour, right? I could even go to the Dollar Tree because I'm sure that there would be something there I could use, but I put a little glitter in it. Whether it be too big, I don't know. But we're taking it off. Oh, I'll find something. I don't know. I threw that out, but I wonder if these would be too big. Yeah, those are going to be too big. So never mind that. So I was like, well, it's worth a shot. I was just seeing if something I had would work. Sometimes I thought, well, I'll just look at my little stashy stash. I think those are the same width. So those would be. This may work, and even though they're green, I'm going to try to get the center part of it. See these? I wonder if the center part would work. So we've got green. That doesn't look half bad, actually. That kind of goes with the green. What do you think? I think that would work. Put a little speckled dazzle on it. Looks possessed with. I could paint it, maybe. Where did it go? No, I don't know where. It just went flying someplace. I don't know where it went. I lost it somehow. It's probably on me or something. Now it went bye bye. Know where it went. If I have another color. I have pink, but I think that would look worse. Pink would look worse. That I could paint it. See, I tried to paint those before, but it didn't come out the greatest. But I try to paint them again. I don't know where that little went. It went flying. You go with the green. I painted this one. I'm trying to get it off of here and see if I can get it off without. It's kind of purple. It didn't work anyway, but I could try to paint it. They have stuff at Dollar Tree. I could find something. Still all sticky. I have to go through my craft bin and see if I've got something. I'm sure I have something. I'm sure somewhere in my whole stash of stuff I've got something. But I didn't like the way this is my original one I was trying to do for the whatever the thing is. I can't remember what it was. The goose, and I didn't like how it turned out, so I didn't end up doing it. This is still wet, believe it or not. It's like tacky. I can also go to. They've got little dots at Hobby Lobby or not Hobby Lobby, Dollar Tree. I can paint it as long as I don't lose them. But I think I can paint it. Now, see, that looks nice. So if we paint it, that would look nice. So I'll just redo it again. Celtic, I've been doing Kinusaiga now since June 18th. And I am loving it. Now see, that looks good. So I'll just repaint that silver and then that looks nice. Or I'll paint it white or something. I can even put a little white dot, but even that just looks nice. Something like that. And then it doesn't look possessed. What we need to do is find one that's like a little rhinestone. Is what we need to do. Yeah, we have to find something. I've got something. I'm sure I've got something in the stash I can find. Somewhere be. I've done this. This is another one I've got to finish up. Y'all are coming in. That one. Doing this one. We have patterns on our. This is one I'm doing for Facebook. Oh, I got the eyes for this one. It looks really cool, but it'd be way too big for the kitty. My daughter has done this one. It is. It is so relaxing. And if you're familiar with Once Upon a Time, she's done this one. She is loving it. Kinusaiga is just so relaxing and it's so much fun. And I have to tell you, once you start getting a seam ripper in your hand, I'm not responsible for you not getting it out of your hands either. This is the first one we did. So this is the first one. And then I've also done this one. This one is on there, and we have patterns on our patterns on our merch store. The rose is always free, and then the fabric link will tell you all the fabric that all the supplies we're using for Kinusaiga. it is so relaxing. I deal with chronic pain on a daily basis. And so it really helps me. I also crochet, but this is helping me tremendously. And the flag pattern is it's $3 versus two. Most of our patterns are $2 because we have it with and without the flowers. So this one will always be free. We just added a really simple pattern. Can't show you because it's down in a local store in our area. Um, but this is one we're working on. We're going to be doing a lot more. We focus a lot on this channel with Connect and Grow. We want people coming in. I found the green little thing I was looking for. We focus on Connect and Grow. We want people coming on in. We wanting them. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. And we focus on connection. It is what we want to see here. We want to see people finding each other and connecting with each other, and that's really, really important to us. So, whatever I'm doing here, whether we're driving to church, whether we're on the road, whether, we're just tucking fabric or we're outside watching the leaves turn and I'm crocheting, it's all about you all coming in and connecting with each other, putting that hashtag bless in the chat and really find ways to connect with each other. So that's what we're here for. Um, trying to get through this thing called life. We're having fun doing these projects. We're going to be doing more of them, but it is just a vessel in order for us to go live so that people can come on in and connect with each other because we got to get through this thing called life and we better do it with our community for sure. We've just gotten monetized. We were monetized prior, but apparently we left the partner program and then voluntarily and back in April. So we just got monetized with at least memberships and super chats and all that kind of stuff. And so we're back to at least partial monetization until we get full back again. I still don't quite understand how they said we left the partner program and they couldn't do any more than that. I work in a public library and I just got a bag of fabric scraps from part Patreon this morning, so I'm looking to start Kinusaiga soon. Yes. I would look at that supply list. It doesn't mean that everything that we have on our supply list, some of it is affiliate links. That you have to go and get everything. I mean, we've been able to get uh uh a hot knife to be able to cut the foam board. My biggest thing to tell people is when you go getting your supplies for King of Saga, don't go to your local craft store. I fire art and get styrofoam. Styrofoam is too soft of a material. I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing well. It's too soft of material. And as you can see, I purposely put kind of dents into the styrofoam so you can see it just doesn't it it just doesn't lend itself well to King of Saga. So you need to be getting what is called polystyrene. Um, and that's what you're looking for here if you're in the United States. They have Home Depot has um, this brand. Lowe's has a different brand. Now, I have heard where people love the brand at Home Depot or Lowe's, and they do not like the brand at Lowe's. Kind of mixed reviews. But a lot of people go with this brand, which they do have at Menards in smaller panels, but we also got the big ones, the big 8 foot by 4 foot, which is a challenge to get home, but we did it. And we got that from Home Depot. But you're looking for polystyrene. You're not going to your local craft store and getting styrofoam because it's not going to lend itself well to this. You want to have a very, very firm thing to be able to tuck your fabric in and using your seam ripper for. And also, you can go and get sheets of 3 ml, uh, uh, 3 ml a double-sided tape or a double-sided sticky tape. Yes. Or you can get the sheets. We just got the roll. We've been getting the sheets and then we upgraded to the roll. So, you know, there is, if you're on Facebook, there's called the Kinusaiga Corner. If you are on Facebook, a lot of really good suggestions and ideas as far as seeing other people's projects. And my other probably example or probably suggestion to tell you is don't start off with yes, exactly. But I like I said, I've heard people kind of give mixed reviews with the Lowe's brand. Is they like it, they either like it or they don't like it. They like the Pink Panther brown better. But I think it's a personal preference. The one thing about the brand from Lowe's is it's not as smooth as the Pink Panther brand. The Pink Panther brand, if you can see it from the back, is smooth. The the one from Lowe's is it's green and it seems to not be as smooth, but you know, I haven't seen it locally. I've seen it only on Amazon. I have not been able to see it anyplace else. That's why we did our fabric list through our link tree is because I have it, and we did get it on Amazon storefront, so I'm going to be setting that up shortly. But I haven't seen them. I haven't seen it in any other place beside Amazon. I haven't seen it locally. I haven't been able to find it any other place other than that. Um, but the polystyrene you can get on Amazon. I would at least use a 1 inch polystyrene board. And I would start off with a simple pattern. Um, like our rows that we have on our merch store is always free. That was pretty simple. We have a cross on there that's simple. We put a quilt square up that was simple. I probably wouldn't start with a flag pattern right off the gate. I would do something simple. Another thing that we got, and it's on our fabric list, which are our list of supplies, is this. And this is the knife cutting tool we used, which is this. And the first time I did it, I used a box cutter and it was very hard on my hands. And this made it very, very easy to put the design on. First you cut your polystyrene out to whatever size you want it. Then you put your pattern on top and you tape that down. And this makes it very easy to control your cuts uh, with the pattern down. Very easy. So I found that very easy to use. And another really good suggestion is when you're doing your seam ripper, uh, these were a pack of 5. So I was able to give 2 to my daughter, 1 to my mother. But the first night we had an old fashioned seam ripper. It was from Singer. It's probably older than me. And it really killed my hands. It was very boxy. This is that I'm gonna say it wrong too. I have dyslexia. Um, not economical, aerodynamic. It's not aerodynamic. I can't think of it. It helps your hands. It's I can't think. I can't. It does not want to come out right now. Thank you. Mom said it. So that you can be able to hold it and have something versus one that's kind of the seam rippers that are boxy. And then of course we also another suggestion I would tell you too is have glue at hand. This is the glue that we use. It's the tacky quick drying glue. And then on that supply list, we ended up getting like these little glue, you know, precision tools to put the glue in. And if you cut your fabric too shy, or you end up starting to see a fray happen or something, having glue on hand to be able to fix that quickly is wonderful. Another thing is these scissors are awesome. Um, and they are actually curved up like this. So once you've tucked your fabric in and you need to cut your excess off, you can get really close to the fabric in order to make that happen versus straight scissors. I do have scissors that are uh, fabric scissors, but that just cuts the main fabric off. So the main fabric to cut on to put it onto the board. Yeah. Um, but once you start, you're gonna get hooked. I like to actually have. I've got to reach back out to our library because I thought it would be a great thing to for the like. You out doing or helping to facilitate some library classes on it. This is really wonderful. But those are just some quick tips. Excuse me. But I will be on Monday. I will not be on tomorrow. I've decided I'm going to take it easy tomorrow. I've got my daughters that I want to finish, so I take those up to her Tuesday. She's selling both of those pieces. And on Tuesday, we'll be heading up to see my daughter. And so I won't be live very much on Tuesday. And I'll be back on Wednesday, possibly, or Thursday. We got to see how this girl's doing on Wednesday. So anyway, if I'm really sore and I'm really tired after helping my daughter a little bit, I will take Wednesday off and I'll just sit and relax and watch um, uh, Hard Acres, the series I found on BritBox, and relax and take it easy and rest and come on Thursday. Where do you get your scissors? I was trying to find those sideways scissors. Again, I will drop this. This is our fabric. It's on Amazon. Also in our this is our link tree. Um, and all of the supplies that we've used are on that fabric list. So I tell you to go there. And all of the things from the seam ripper to um, everything that we've put here is all in that one little place. Again, we will have an Amazon storefront. We've been approved. I just have to set it up. But you can go to that fabric list and see all the things there. Hi, story time. Welcome on in. I am doing good. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well too as well. But we did that for the purposes of having all the tools kind of in one place because the scissors are really really helpful. Um, and they're great scissors for sure. So I probably wouldn't recommend using. Here's the thing, and I've heard people say that there's people that take these pieces once as they're working with them. Thank you very much. As they're working with them, this was one we'd finished recently. Where is it? Mother doesn't know it. I'm gonna get it. This is one we did recently. And it's for my mother's birthday. She doesn't know she's getting it yet, but she's getting it. They're so much fun to do. My goodness gracious. Who knew that they stuff foam into fabric into foam board? I'd be that much fun. Um I've seen people when they take these little pieces of paper and they're working in that area. Um they take the little piece of paper and then they take that little piece of paper to the fabric and they cut the fabric a little bigger than the piece. I have found that more irritating than it for me anyway. And for some people it works and that's great. I have found it more irritating than what I want to deal with. I've seen people take the pieces off, put it down, take the rotary cutter, take it and go around the piece. I have just found I take the material, I put it down, I cut around it, and then I have a bin here of these are not fabric scraps. These actually have to go back and they're in the wrong bin. And I just every time I think, oh, I got to pull them out, put them back where they belong, I forget. I have a whole bin here of oh, that's something else. I have a whole bin here of just little tiny pieces that I maybe cut the fabric too big, or I didn't want to try to keep track of this. I may never use them, but they're in here. If I think if I've cut the fabric too big and I need to put them, I just put them right in here. And then if I need to go through it, oh, I need, this color. Well, I've got this little piece that I just didn't want to, that I didn't want to waste. And so I have this little bin of like little tiny cuts um, of fabric. Another thing that we got too was some of the fabric from Amazon. It's great fabric. This is one of the fabrics that we got off of Amazon. And when you put it up to this board, this polystyrene, sometimes you can see the board through the fabric. So we have found that if I've got very thin white fabric, and I use this, which is and even though it says temporary, it's still holds just fine. So this is basting adhesive, and we'll spray that. I always move my project out of the way before I spray because I don't want any spray winding up on the fabric itself. And we'll put the white piece of fabric down, we'll spray that, we'll add the little piece of fabric to it, and I have my Cricut little Cricut. Where's it? I put it away someplace. I thought I put it in the wrong spot. Where's it? I have my little I can't find it now, but my little Cricut scraper, and I just put that down on. I just use that. I just kind of scrape it down and seal it. We've had no issues. Of course, now that here it is. Now that I need it, I can't find it. We use this, and we'll put the white fabric down. We'll put a couple squirts of this, and then we'll put the fabric we're using on top, and then we'll just kind of bring it together. And I have noticed no problem, even though it says temporary. It's a great solution to have, and this is in the list too of things to use when you're using or working with thinner fabric that you don't want to see the fabric coming through. You had to do it with the goose. Um, this fabric here was not going to show up as well and as bright if we hadn't have put the fabric behind it. The one thing is that having those precision tools for the glue, you just have to use them very carefully because I've literally kind of poked through pretty good with what I'm using them. And I wouldn't recommend them for tucking in fabric in a hole together, but they're great for having when you need a little bit more force to put the fabric in, especially when you've had to double up the fabric. But that was our solution to using fabric because I've seen people use tulle and all that kind of stuff. Um, but you know, you got to have something behind it, whether it's white or if you're using silver tulle, then you want gray or something like that. So, um, start off with a simple pattern. And another thing that I have really kind of said to people throughout this whole thing, I tend to be a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect and everything. is I tell people, and what we would like to do in the future with this is to get to the point where we're doing kits where everybody can have the kits together, pre-cut, ready to go, fabric in the bag, fabric in the kit, with a seam ripper and scissors and everything, and they can just go to town with it, even with the frame already done and everything. Um, but what I will be putting on the kits is, guess what? I'm not perfect. And so please realize these are handmade pieces. They're hand cut. Please don't try to be perfect. You're going to lose the look of handmade. When you start taking and trying to make it perfect, you're losing handmade on it. It's not going to be perfect. And it's not going to be perfect your first piece. As we've done it, I've gotten better and better and better at it. But that is going to take time. Can I think about anybody can do Kinusaiga? Absolutely. You can do it, you can learn, you're going to make your mistakes, and you're not going to be perfect. That's what glue's there for, right? I used to work many years ago in an auto dealership, and people would come in to their into the auto dealership, and they would be upset because they just got a brand new car and it should work just fine, and they had a little problem about 3 weeks into their thing. I tell them, just remember, your car was made by machines, and those machines were made by hand. Oops, not made by hand, but those machines were made by man, and the people that input it and put the information into the machines were humans. And it just took them a minute to go, yeah, that's right. So nothing can be perfect. So when you try to make this look perfect or make everything and all the lines look come together and everything, or as much as in the future I'd love to be able to do kits and so forth, and cut the material and everything and have it all ready for people that would like to do that, it's going to be on there. Sorry, y'all. Cuts are not going to be perfect unless we have a machine that literally could cut them and have everything line up and everything look perfect. It's not going to look perfect. And it's going to take away from the handmade element of what this looks like. And everything, uh, in today's world, you go to the store and you get a shirt and they all look the same if they're on a rack, right? And part of this is the handmade element. We do soap caddies. I have the same pattern for that soap caddy every time. And would you know that every one of those soap caddies always comes out just a little bit different. Don't lose the ability for this to look handmade. And when you start trying to make the cuts totally perfect and totally straight, and your tucks all perfect and everything, you lose the handmade element of it. And that's just, to me, is it really makes it special to say this was absolutely not something, somebody's hands were in this. And not only that, their hands were in it from this very start, from the very start of the pattern, their hands were in it. So just realize, don't get discouraged when you do your first piece and go, oh, I could have done this better. You're learning. Keep at it. You will get better and better. You will be able to do more difficult patterns as you progress. Just don't start off with a difficult pattern at first, because you'll get frustrated and throw up your hands. Start off with a really simple one. For instance, on our merch store, the cross, the rose, and the other one that we just put up, it's called Geometric Quilt Square. That would be a really easy pattern. We put it up on the merch store for people that were starting Kinusaiga and wanted to do a simple pattern that didn't want complicated. And that's where that one fits in perfectly. So, I just remind people, don't try to have it be perfect, please. Make it look handmade. It needs to look, needs to be looking handmade. And you're going to make mistakes. That's what happens when you learn. It really is. So that's one thing. I have a lint roller too. we have, so when we're done, we can take the lint roller and run it over there if need be. And I learn new things all the time with this. And I'm having so much fun. But we would love to be able to down the road put kits together. Not only that, what we would really love to do too is we have several different where we live in Ohio. We have at least two stores here that I'm telling you, when you go out to those stores, you're literally in country. You're in farmland. And you got we were on the way to the one store. You got cows and Amish buggies, and we went down to Berlin. You're in the heart of Berlin, with these beautiful quilts around you. That's about 45 minutes to an hour from our house. There's another outlet down in Berlin. There's another store, very mom and popish, down. I forgot where it was. But they were closed when we tried to go there. Serendipity that I'd like to look at. There's another one that we went to that is just so quaint, and it is in it's actually in the basement of this place that's the one of the eight oldest restaurants in Ohio. But we'd love to be able to do patterns and actually source the fabric from these specific stores, be able to put their business card in the kit, be able to take a little bit of a video, not very long, maybe 5 minutes, take you around their store, show you the area that it's around, so that when you go on the QR code, you can go see where your fabric's been sourced. And we'd like to be able to down the road be able to offer quilt square kit or quilt square packages and so forth. And not having it just come from Hobby Lobby, but having it come from uh, Pacific stores, mom and pop stores within our Ohio area. And we very much would like to do that. This fabric, the one that has the curtains, that one was found at Blooming Grove, which is very much out in the country over here in Ohio. And beautiful, beautiful fabric. And this was found at Country Fabrics, which is a huge place in our area that has wonderful, wonderful fabric too as well. So we have big plans for King of Saga, and I hope you'll come back and enjoy watching us do more and more patterns. But also, it's a place that we say here that we crochet connection, and no crochet hook or seam ripper is needed. Um, we just want people to connect and grow, and that's why we say come in here. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. Please make sure when you go to connect with somebody, you do it the right way. Go over there, watch at least a 3-minute video, comment on something, interact with them, and make that connection. And we're here for just to have fun and talk and connect and help everybody and be supportive to our community. And we are a community here at Blessed for Crochet, and we are so thankful for all of our community members. And I'm not talking about just the ones that are members, I'm talking about everybody. We are a community, and we're going to continue to grow, and we're very, very thankful. And this is a cutting board that my husband had um, from Sam's Club. And I like it better than the um, boards they use for quilting, only because it's white and it really shows off the pattern. You guys we don't need to have all those lines, but I have glue on here and stuff, so I do wash it down. And I just have it on because I don't want to ruin my tablecloth, which is just a tablecloth. But anyway, I'm loving King of Saga, and my daughter and I are enjoying it together. We're having so much fun, and she's really using it a lot right now, just to have She's recently become a new mama, and she's like she can't wait to like she'll go and say, okay, I gotta sit down and do my Kinusaiga. And I'm like, and we're doing it live together. She has a channel. We're trying to get her, guys. She's only like, if you all haven't subscribed, she is not far away from 500. I don't know if she'll ever get to the point where she gets that channel monetized, but I'd like for her to have the 500 or more people. And if she ever chooses to go forward with monetizing that channel, um, she'll have the numbers. She's not too far away from it. So we're gonna be doing more. I usually take Sundays off. Sometimes I come live on Sundays, but I'm not going to tomorrow. I'm gonna make myself sit and work on Christina's Kinusaiga projects so I can get them done and get them to her on Tuesday. And then on Monday I'll come live. Tuesday we're gonna be going down to see her. But I won't be live Tuesday. I don't know what shape I'll be in on Wednesday. I'm going to be going down to help her a little bit. So uh, I may be really sore and tired on Wednesday. So we will see. If not, I will have soap caddies to do. And I promise you all, I will get. I think what's going to have to happen is I'll get. I keep. It's just been a crazy week this week because I got recaps to do. And I'll probably get them done possibly tomorrow. If not, hopefully to be out on Monday, and then we can go from there. And then I'll get the other ones out and we'll get caught up at the end of the week. I've been able to at least get the shout outs done every day, which using chat GPT to do the shout outs have made it really, really, really easy to do because I can do those. I just get to the make comments, guys, because I'm going into the chat or into the studio and seeing who's making comments, and sometimes I'll pull somebody out of there and give them a shout out. It's not off topic. I'm using, believe it or not, this is in our, it's our neighborhood, it's our patio back here, which is going to be awesome when it starts snowing for be able to see the snow falling behind me. But I'm using my iPhone uh 16 for here. So I've got, let's see, I'll show you. All right, so I've got my mount. This is here, and this is a MagSafe case. So I've got the mount here, which hooks for my phone for the 16, and because this is a better camera than that is, um, this is held up to here, and then I have just a stand to hold this phone that I'm on. Okay. Um, and that's just sitting on our piano. And no, I don't play the piano. But anyway, that stands on the piano so that when it's light, you guys can see out here. And when of course when it starts snowing and everything, guys will be able to look out as the snow's falling down. But that is, I can't remember whether that's a iPhone 6 or something like that. I don't. I mean, it doesn't need to be the greatest camera view. This needs to be it because this is what's looking at the project that I'm working on. So I don't care if this is an older camera. And what I do is I go into YouTube Studio, or I go into YouTube and I go live, and then I go ahead and I say go live together, and then I will send a message to this used to be my mom's old phone to her. I can get the message on here. I join the live. I turn the volume off, the microphone off on this phone, even though I can still hear myself. It just works better on this one. This one does not have the greatest voice thing. And then I have my Chromebook here if I need to drop any links into the thing or I don't have any. Uh, moderators that are on, I can moderate it myself and remove stuff or add stuff or put stuff in like codes and make that stuff. So that's what I use. I go live together and I'll be willing to have, if anybody wants to come live while I'm doing this, and doesn't have to be working on Kinusaiga, I could be doing that. You guys could be crocheting or whatever, but you can reach out to us. I'll gladly have you on, and as long as we can chit chat and so forth. But I do going live together, and that's what I do. And then that way I can make it so I've got the dual cameras. We did a while back ago have StreamYard, but I couldn't keep the prices up of StreamYard, unfortunately. So we haven't had StreamYard for a long time. And StreamYard also they'll make you pay for an extra camera. It won't let you can't have, in order to have two cameras, you have to pay for an extra camera. And I don't want to do that. So I just, when I set up the live, I said, go live together. And then I use my mom's old camera and I use this. And it works. And then everybody gets to see me. They get to see the project. And then they get to see dark, or when it does snow down the road, then I'll be able to come on and everybody can see and see it snowing. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here so I can go to church, be somewhat awake tomorrow. Again, we will not be live tomorrow. I'll try to come live on Monday, and will probably be live on the way to my daughter's house on Tuesday. And then we just have a table, and it's just a it's a very sturdy one, but it's a folding table because we're in a room with, this is the den area in our place that we live, and so there's a bed. So if at any time, this is a cabinet that I just put my stuff in. But if somebody's comes and visits and they need to sleep in that bed, then we can always put this table down and then reset it back up again. So nothing fancy, and it does need to be fancy crafts, but not sure how to start. Okay. Well, if you would like to reach out, I would. Here is our email. Um, if you'd like to reach out and I can give you a little bit of advice, I'll be more than willing to do that. Because it's all about helping everybody grow. And I do this for connection. All the revenue from this channel goes to my mother. And that's the way I'm very thankful that I can do that and I can help her. You guys help me, and I will be glad to help anybody, because I think that it I think that if you're, well, I think that if I think it's scary to think about starting a YouTube channel, but I'm very glad that I did. And if you're thinking about starting one, here's another channel to check out. Tuber Chat is full of people. It becomes a family. Kevin is amazing. And he is great to bring people together. And just going into a channel like that and being able to connect with people on other channels and learn and understand. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you need your phone and nothing else. You can do it. And I don't mind giving what little bit I've learned over the time. And if people want to start it and I can help them facilitate that a little bit and help them get going, and get them to just hit that live button and get them started, I will be more than glad to do it. Because we've learned a lot, and we're glad to help other people achieve that. And it's possible. And you just gotta realize you gotta put work into it. But best thing I ever did, because I'm helping mama, and I get the connection out of it, which really helps me deal with chronic pain every day. So You guys mean the world to me. The scariest thing about starting a YouTube channel is hitting that like button. This is the scariest thing in the world. Once you do it, once you do it and you get used to it and you go on and you just do it and say, this is going to be awkward. It's going to be scary. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say the wrong thing, or in the sense of saying the wrong thing, but saying that kind of be nervous and kind of maybe stuttering a little bit, or, kind of, ums and all that kind of stuff. Once you get through that, if you go back and look at our first live, oh boy, we've come a long way, y'all. And I can tell you from this last bout of us losing our monetization, when you're building a YouTube channel, build your community. You're not building a channel, you're building community. If you look at it that way, changes things because you're connecting with people. Absolutely. Hi, Flow Farm. Welcome on in. We are still working on our kitty cat. We're about ready to head off because I got to get to church in the morning, and I keep talking. I'll figure it out. If you're somebody that talks, you've got half the battle of YouTube down because you'll do it just fine. My mom's like, I have no idea how you do that. You just like your dad, and I'm like, yep, just like my dad. And I'm very very grateful. I miss him, but I know he's suffered with dementia for 7 years, and I'm glad he's out of pain and suffering. So I love you all, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being an amazing part of our community. I am so grateful. So, with that being said, remember to be proud of being you because everyone else is taken. There is nobody else like you. And if you start a YouTube channel, there could be thousands and thousands of YouTube channels doing crafts, but there can only be one you. So, there can be only one YouTube channel just like yours. And remember, we have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. I love you all. And keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook or seam ripper needed. I have to have the seam ripper now because, and I use a seam ripper. I never thought I would use a seam ripper because this girl didn't like to sew. I still don't like to sew. I love y'all. Have a great night. And we'll see you tomorrow on the way to church. And then I will see you on Monday. All right. Talk to y'all later. Have a great night. Bye bye, everybody. Stay connected. It's so important.